And do you assume, well, she's a woman, she's clearly going to understand better how a woman feels. So I want to read that. Do you think that's part of it, or do you think it's just I don't know? Do you have any speculation as to like why that would work that way?
Well, I think that a lot of I think girls tend to just read more young adult, like, or give young adult like a chance to in general, like, because most like young adult books that people like, oh, I love young adult. Most of the time, I'm not saying there aren't some guys that don't enjoy it, obviously, because I try to write a book that I think that men and women obviously will enjoy, but I do think genre wise, that genre tends to skew towards more female, like just in general.
Um, I don't have the research in front of me, but the documents I think would suggest that. I can say that as a when I was younger, I probably would have had the idea of like, "Ugh, that's it's just kid stuff. I need something harder. Give me something a little bit more. I don't know, more dead bodies. That's what I need. More dead bodies.
Yeah.
Somebody with sword killing somebody. That's all I want.
Well, I mean, people get stabbed in my book too, if that helps. Like there's,
I'm immediately more interested. I will say that. So
yeah, there's stabbings, like, because there's fighting. Yeah.
So you have a second book that you're working on.
Yeah.
I'm curious, is it like, are you working on a series or just a second book, something completely disconnected? Are you building a universe? Like, what are you doing?
So this the book I have now is the first book in a trilogy. So this would be the sequel. So the second book, yeah. So the second book I'm working on is a sequel. So Alex's story is not over yet in book one. There's more. There's more that happens.
Do you feel that hinders your ability to sell the books? Do people go into it knowing there's going to be more books, or did you write it as a standalone and have decided to add on to it?
So I definitely wrote it as a series because the way book one ends, it does end like on a cliffhanger. But I have been pretty honest that this is a series, so I haven't like marking wise like tried to mislead anyone. Be like, no, guys, this is part one. So it does leave off on a cliffhanger. I mean, some answers, just the way storytelling works. Obviously, you do have to answer some questions and like have some type of resolve.
The reason I ask is because I find with a lot of authors, and they do the series thing, they go into it knowing that the books aren't going to sell that good because basically George R. Martin screwed everybody over with Game of Thrones by not finishing the books.
Oh yeah.
And so no one wants to start a series and imagine that it's not going to get finished anymore.
I guess I would say to like anyone, like, guys, but most authors aren't George R. Martin. Like that was.
Gary from Nerdrotic is counting down the days that he's overdue for the book. It's been like 7 years since he should have written the last one.
I watch his YouTube channel. Yeah, no, he is hilarious with that. Like, but I mean, I'm one of the people that have said, like, because I loved Game of Thrones, the show, but I'm one of the people that was like, guys, I don't think Martin's finishing it. Like, at this rate, like, I don't think it's going.
Gary always picks on him about how he's just constant. He's like, if you stopped tweeting about football long enough, maybe you could get a few pages in.
I mean, I would tell Gary from Nerdrotic, like, dude, I don't think it's gonna happen. Like, he wrote a whole prequel instead of finishing the series because of House of the Dragon.
Exactly.
Instead of finishing the series, he wrote like a whole prequel. I was like, no, I guess not to get too off topic, but season 8 of Game of Thrones, I think, this is just my personal theory, I think those are the notes of what Martin wanted to happen. I don't think it was executed well. But, I'm assuming that is something similar is what's going to happen in the books. I mean, not exactly, because obviously certain like threads and there are more characters in the books. Like, I don't think it'll be exactly like that. But
I just know it would have been better than the show ended.
Yeah, I think it would have been fleshed out more. I think it would have made more sense. I think they were just like, okay, these are his cliff notes, but we'll find a way to make this happen. And then they were just like, let's rush through this. Because they admitted that in interviews, being like, Oh, we wanted this to be wrapped up so we
We're
could do other things.
more interested in the Star Wars deal that we just signed before the end of it.
Yeah. So
Well, just to be clear, we got to talk about your book in the same breath as we were talking about George R.R. Martin. So that's only good for you. You know, you can now say, "Oh, my book has been discussed alongside George R.R. Martin."
that's true.
And so don't think that he's off topic because the topic is fantasy novels and you're in that pantheon now.
Thanks.
Where can people go to check you out and learn more about your book, buy your book?
Yes, so I have a website, which is actually my whole name. So it's www.tiarajbrown.com. So TIARAJBROWN.com. You can also find me on Instagram at Tiara Joy Brown, because that's what the J stands for. All one word for both. And then my book is available pretty much everywhere books are available online. So Amazon, Barnes Noble, like Target website. You can request it at your local library because it's in the library network as well. And then Google Play. So it's available in hardcover copy, paperback, and ebook. This is, and the cover looks the same on all, but yeah, this is what it looks like, for everyone who's interested. And yeah.
Is the locket important? Should I ask that?
The locket is important. Yes. The locket is important. It's pretty. I can't say why it's important because it's important. It'd be kind of it'd give away like a huge spoiler of why it's important. But it is. You see, the locket shows up and gets mentioned throughout, and then you find out later at the end of this book actually why it's important too. So it's just like yes, it is. It is important.
Right on. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. Hopefully we get some people there, and hopefully people can learn from the lessons of what you've learned from your process and going through it. That's the most important thing, is showing other authors it can be done, and there's better and worse ways to do it. Do the best way.
Oh yeah, and then for me, I'll just say one last thing that's helped me the most is I would say word of mouth marketing wise still has helped me sell more books. Just word of mouth and speaking to people face to face. Social media has helped a lot. Don't get me wrong.
Well, I would ask, what's your favorite social media that you've found, and what have you gotten the most traction out of? Because in general, I'm very displeased with most of what social media has to offer me these days. So,
I would say Instagram, and probably just because I like Instagram the most, is because you can post pictures, you can have short little videos, reels, and stuff like that. I think for me, that's been the most prosperous across them and stuff like that. So
I'm curious because I've been seeing more of these lately. Did you really have a book trailer that you did to put out there, or is that something that's part of your marketing?
So I didn't do a book trailer. I got a lot of mixed messaging about book trailers when I first before my book even came out, because some people like them. Some people said oh, this is there's no traction, there's no money. I wasn't sure, so I didn't do one.
I think there's a way to do them that would work, and nobody does them the way that would work. It's the thing. That's why I've asked about it, because I'm curious. Do these work for anybody? It's you're just showing me things that aren't the story. You're not telling me this story. I would use them. I would use social proof, and try and get testimonials and things like that for the book, or get get early copies out, get reader testimonial, and maybe have people record, their thoughts on it in a quick video. I feel that's a better trailer for a story than,
I think so too,
just weird static images and imagine a world. I'm imagining a world.
Yeah, I didn't do a book trailer, so I have no personal data on that. I just kept getting so many mixed messages, and some people are oh yeah, you should do it, but then there were a lot of people no, this is a waste of time. It got me nothing, and I was just well, I guess it's not required. So,
well, and if you found a better way to make short form content for your people, there's probably ultimately, I'm imagining putting you on a camera, on a cell phone, talking to people is probably going to do more than a book trailer does. Just taking a guess.
Yeah, probably. But it does seem like that for a lot of people that like say like booktube or like author YouTube. I'm pretty sure that's why a lot of that works for them, because they literally are just they're on camera talking about their books or other books too. So yeah.
We had a previous guest, Storm Young, who did a bunch of mystery novels based out of West Virginia, and she said like she just tell like these small little mystery things, like, yeah, questions, who's so and so, oh, it's a character in this book that I wrote, and she's a mom who goes to college and has a kid at home, and so she's like doing her reels and things like that while the baby's there, and she's taking care of the kid, doing laundry and the dishes, and she'll just have like these ideas and kind of talk to herself about them, and then just ask questions, any little thing that she could, to have something to put up. And that, she said that she got nothing but good traction via TikTok and Facebook Reels. So, I think it all boils down to how you connect with your people.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, and what you like to do too, because if you hate doing that, like marketing tactic, you're probably not going to be good at it. So you won't be consistent with it either.
I know my marketing tactic is just be an angry white guy. I can do that. That's going to be the people that read the stuff anyways. It's going to be the subtext of everything. That's what people expect. Don't bother screwing with expectations. Just give them what they want. Angry white guy.